Father, Mother God, I'm here. I am actively choosing love, actively communing with you through the dialogue. To feel the flow of Source within me and through me. I am blessed to know this presence and flow, guiding me, being me. It is a process of releasing, letting go, healing the identities that I developed to survive here in disconnect mode, so that the truth of who I am can be revealed. And it is being revealed to me. It is a movement. I feel the expansion. I feel the guidance. I don't have to come up with courage. I don't have to come up with love for others. I don't have to come up with strategies to figure things out, to figure out my way forward. As you flow through me, I see it. And I know it. And I am expanded further into my centered peace and balance and knowing, and a far deeper embodied understanding of why I'm here. And that's it, is just to reconnect so that I can be who I am and in flow. And not defined by the previous world and ways of that world. I'm free from those definitions now. I feel you coming in. And so even the dialogue begins to change at this point. I find that when I sit down to intentionally dialogue, it's because I have felt not in flow, like an awareness that there's a disconnect occurring, but it's so slight. And yet in this, even in the slight movement off of center, it is the razor's edge. And you step off of it and you really feel the pain. Far more loudly. And so it's a red alert, and it says, no, you don't want to go any further in this direction, so let's talk, And I start now. I've noticed I've started by saying I am choosing love. I am here and I am choosing love. So that indicates to me that I'm no longer, standing at the starting line and, kind of frozen, saying, I don't know what's going on, but I'm here and I choose love, which is a great thing. But then eventually that shifts into movement. It's like now you're going to start your journey. And I see it as a tunnel or a tube that it's interesting, you're still able to interact with persons, places, and things in the world that you were born into. But you are not identified by it. This is what I'm in the world but not of it actually means. I just love when you see with the dialogue at this stage of commitment. My commitment's pretty huge. My commitment has been almost 2 decades with this particular practice since it arrived. So when I'm speaking my truth now, it's a very gentle presence that, when you're in flow, you are able to I still want to refer to it as others. You can feel and connect with other perspectives. And, kind of like a motherly encouragement, it just starts to grow in my heart and say hi. Sometimes when people, when you talk about flow, people get confused, like, well, what is it? And it's simply the light, the creative flow. It is light and sound that has been able to fill us now because we made room for it. We're no longer dedicated to our masks and identities of the past. So if we're receptive and have room for this flow, it begins to flow, and then I still feel those same unique frequency markers of the beings who talked to me as a child in the sandbox. For those of you who've read my book or heard my story, that they were with me from the start, just as, other experiencers here. Anyway, it's growing now. It's expanding in my heart, and I love when I can read, even though I've never articulated it, really. I haven't defined it. There are different frequency personas, is that frequency identities that I know and love, and they've been guiding me. And sometimes when they say hi, or yes, you can get a surge of love that, it's so big that you can't talk anymore. It's so beautiful. Loving. And this is what I've dedicated my life to be the different one that tried but could not fit in any of the existing models here. So I'm being guided forward to create, generate, demonstrate with others who are entering this tube, this expansion, this journey, a journey beyond this limited spectrum. It doesn't need to be defined here. This is where the knowing ones are. And this is what the original inspiration for Light Dialogic Community was. That we would find each other and inspire each other and support each other in this journey. I can't explain how it works to those who avoid this entryway, this portal. I can't even explain it to the ones who are frozen at the entryway, because it is moving. It is in flow. So in order to enter, one must find that flow. Initiate it. And it can happen really quickly at this point. A surge of love from this presence. There aren't any names here. It's the ones who make a commitment with us to assist, especially at these times when the opening is here. And they're here to encircle us, until we invite our own flow to occur. And that's how we commune with them, which is not a them. Once you're in flow, you understand that it is oneness. And yet, even though it's oneness, you can still feel distinct markers of other voices. Friends, the ones that you have always known. And you start to remember as you get in flow. You start to remember, now it's all coming back, because you're allowing the flow of this light to come through you. So of course it's all coming back. And things just make sense again. And that's when we're in communion with the divine and all that reside in this divine resonance. This journey is a frequency journey. And if one can't feel, there's no journey in this direction. It is an emotional commitment to healing and releasing, grieving, letting go, and allowing this opening. Everything I'm doing now, I do not think. I don't think about it. I just find myself being it and doing it. I never would have predicted what I'm being and doing now from before. There's no connection, there's no linear line from the old paradigm to this true reality based on the harmonics of love. And I'm still here in the world, but not of it. You know, and even that, you start to go, oh, that's what that author meant when they said that. Or that's what Jesus meant when he said that. That's what Thomas in the Gospel of Thomas meant by that. You just know it. You see, you go, oh, wow, cool. I wouldn't have understood that before. So a lot of this material is available, in written form, and even on the stones. It's all here for us to see and perceive, but it's all like a foreign language to us. We try to pretend intellectually that we understand these things, and we make it a scholarly event instead of an embodied event. And sadly, many don't realize they're doing that. That the embodied experience of this love is not even definable on a page. All you can do is post a symbol of it. And so some of these writings are just symbols. They're markings on a page until this light is ignited within and can begin to show you the meaning. But by the time you're moving with this light force and you're being guided by it and connected to it again and readjusting to it, by the time you're doing that, you're just like, you'll have moments of, wow, okay, cool, that's what that meant. Oh, they did leave information for us. But we couldn't understand it because we weren't embodied. But there's no stopping and studying the past at this phase. It's a recognition, a celebration, and woo, let's go. That's where we are now. Lately, I've been fascinated by this, these models of even the Mighty Networks model and the Light Dialogic model of community. It's like it was the closest model that I could find for that might expand into, into the flow. It might be able to come with us for a while, to have a base or a foundation that's visible in the world for those who understand what's happening and what's possible. And, to have the community of those who are actualizing this, to be support and mentor for those who are standing at the threshold of the portal and saying, I'm terrified, I don't know, I just know the past world. That's all I know. And I don't know this world. And what am I entering into? What if it's the wrong choice? They're still in their heads, so they can't feel the right choice. That's what the mentoring is for in Light Dialogic, mentoring and community. And so it's very, very difficult to not be popular and to push through the discomfort of, members dropping away, and they're not getting what they're seeking from this community. And I am totally okay when people leave. And the guidance is, in synergy with that. It's just keep it open. And it will make sense. It'll make more sense, why this was built. So, even though it's uncomfortable to, by the old paradigm standards, this is clearly a failure after a year. We're supposed to be thriving with lots of members, and no, that's not the timing. This old paradigm is closing. So, I don't know, what comes to mind is many are called, but few are chosen. People are going to gravitate to what either feeds the connected soul or feeds the ego. And that's really the difference. That's the line of demarcation here at the entry to these new possibilities beyond this construct. We're not trying to make do anymore. We're not trying to compromise and say, well, that's just the way life is. Even as a child, I'd get angry when people would say that, and I didn't understand why. Like, no, it's not just the way it is. It's what you've accepted. Because you've forgotten your connection to Source. Because you've been conditioned to maintain that distance and seek external authorities to tell you the meaning of all. You know the meaning of all within. But it's too scary for most. So there are few that have landed here. There may be more at a certain point. I don't know. I am not attached to old paradigm models that say you are now successful. Oh, I am quite successful. I get my markers from within for my success. And I could expand on that. But I feel like I want to bring this to a close. So in many ways, I do feel like I'm saying goodbye to a lot of people that I know and a lot of people I don't know. This is just the beginning of, kind of I was trying to remember the message that talked about this, that the perception from the limited spectrum will be, oh, they all died, or, when, or that you lose touch because the world is so chaotic that you don't know if your loved ones are alive or dead, from that perspective. So, but then from the perspective of those moving and expanding, life is glorious, and we're reorienting to Source, and we're creating an entirely new sun, a new reality. And it's happening through us. This is how powerful we are. And we've forgotten power, divine love, divine grace. Divine truth. And many of us are remembering and rejoicing in this constant rediscovery. This is reorientation to the new sun for many. And we need each other. We need each other to mirror this and celebrate. I'm aware that as I've been talking, I'm just vibrating, and this liquid honey love goo just fills my whole being. It's such a gift to feel this restoration in form. And this is all I've ever wanted. My whole purpose for being here was to share this, to leave maps. I don't know if those maps will survive in certain bandwidths, but we all do our part, when we're rising and expanding and moving forward. We leave behind our best attempt to carve it in stone or write it on a page, knowing that it's not understood by most in that frequency bandwidth, the separated from the divine bandwidth of reality. But it's a labor of love is what it is for so many that are here now to evolve humanity. Thank you, First Father and First Mother, for this felt grace in my form. I accept your love, I receive it, and I allow